What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news. Over the past few days, I've been a bit MIA the past 2 days. That's because it was Eid. Eid Mubarak to everyone who does celebrate Eid al-Adha. So I took a little bit of a days off, you could say. Also, there wasn't really that much news, a little repetitiveness. But now, coming into today, we've got a lot of interesting news and some big news as well. Firstly, Barcelona's two main priorities for the summer again have been confirmed: name and personnel. In terms of the position, for the pivot, it's midfielder, it's still Kimmich, and for the left wing, it is still Nico Williams. We'll talk about that. Man City and Barcelona have begun negotiations for the transfer of Joao Cancelo. Man City have now placed their transfer asking price on the table, but they are open to a loan with a buy obligation for set price. We'll talk about all the details there. But also we have some big updates in regards to sale, with Barcelona negotiating with Porto over the recent hours for the transfer of Mikayil Faye and also the potential loan of Vitor Roque. We'll give you guys the details on both operation, and there is going to be a new meeting in the next few days to decide some final and key details as well. Newcastle showing some big interest for both Andres Christensen and Ferran Torres. We'll discuss that. Raphinha almost retiring. We have updates on FFP, Nike deal, kits being leaked around the world, left, right, and center as well. A lot of updates to get into, but before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past few days. Now, we're first going to be discussing again what are the main targets for Barcelona, and again, the same names are popping up from the same sources, so there is a bit of consistency coming up with these two links. Now, Alex Pentel from Relevo has come out saying the position to be reinforced this summer for Barcelona are clear: the midfield and the left wing, and potentially fullback if there's time, money, FFP space. The priorities are Joao Kimmich and Nico Williams, but at the moment Barcelona have not made any moves for them yet. So the club know their position they want to reinforce, they know who their targets are, but haven't made any progression yet, which again is like, what is the point? At least try and get something sorted. The fact that fullback is listed is a bit curious to me, because our fullback situation is sorted. You have Cancelo and Araujo on the right hand side, you have Balde and Fort on the left. What else is there needs to be? Of course, maybe by fullback it means actually signing Cancelo, which in that regards, okay, that makes sense. I would definitely add the Joaos to this report about, bringing in Kimmich and Nico Williams plus the Joaos. On Kimmich, again, for me, I'm still on the same point. If Flick wants him, sure. I think in a double pivot, it makes more sense than him in a single pivot when Xavi wanted him a few months ago. But I would highly have a caution around the salary you give him and also the fee you pay to Bayern Munich. I wouldn't pay anything more than 40 as a package, fully in, all in for Kimmich. I wouldn't pay him more than, I would say, 200,000 a week. That's like my benchmark. Of course, I would be aiming much lower, but that's like my peak that I would pay for Kimmich if, of course, the manager is pushing for him and everyone agrees that he is the best option. Now, on Nico Williams, of course, we talked about how the comparison between him and Luis Diaz as of late. We know that Nico Williams, I think, fits Barcelona much better, and also I mentioned the price as well. Now, Fernando Polo of Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona believed that Luis Diaz and Nico Williams would be possible to sign for the same price of around 60 million euros. The signing of the former is prioritized. So again, they are mentioning that Nico Williams is the priority, but they'll both be available for around the same price. I don't know how we're finessing Liverpool of 60 million euros from one of their best attackers after Mo Salah. I don't know what they're smoking. I don't know how they think they can do that, but if that's what they think, that's what they think. I still think Nico Williams better player, suits Barcelona. But I think Nico Williams beats Luis Diaz in every single category apart from experience, which of course we saw in the first game of the Euros, Spain versus Croatia, which I did a live watch along for on Goals TV, where you saw a bit of a lackluster performance from Nico Williams. But apart from that, I think he beats him in every single category. So we'll wait and see how things do turn out. But again, the priorities of Barcelona is clear: midfielder, left wing, with Joao Kimmich and Nico Williams being the true priorities in terms of personnel. Now, on the topic of fullbacks and how that is listed, of course, as one of the reinforcements for Barcelona that they are prioritizing this summer, we have been linked with a fullback, of course, apart from Cancelo, who we will talk about probably in the next minute or so. There is a new name that Barcelona has been scouting in Brazil by the name of Joao Henrique Mendes. This is coming in from Joaquim Pereira from Sport, of course, #1 source in regards to Brazilian players and Barcelona as a vicinity in its own. He came out saying that one of the requests that Hansi Flick has conveyed to Barcelona sports management is to reinforce the fullback position. Timeout right there. Again, I don't understand this fullback reinforcement that we need. Again, if you're classifying signing Cancelo as a reinforcement, then sure, but you have Ronald Araujo, you have Alex Faye that's coming back from loan, you have Hector Ford who you give a renewal to, you have Balde who hopefully will have a remontada season. What more reinforcement do you need? I'm really not seeing the lines and dots connect here. Again, maybe this could be for the future. Maybe they're expecting a big bid for Ronald Araujo that they will accept if it comes in. I have no idea, but I think it's a bit, premeditated about the fullback reinforcement. Anyways, João Henrique Mendes, known as I don't even know how to say that. A left back from Fluminense's under 20 team is a name that is like he has a contract until 2026 with a release clause of 70 million euros. The Sky department have been observing him for several reasons, both in Fluminense and in the Brazil youth national team. This future left back would be registered with the reserve team, will be continuing to manage by Rafa Marquez, and could quickly join the first team dynamic. Now, I did see some clips of him, and I have read some more reports of him. He's very, very versatile. So basically, like I'm not gonna say upcoming Cancelo because I'm pretty sure he can defend, but he can play both sides. He's naturally on the left, but can play on the right very, very well. I mean, release clause of 70 million euros. I mean, FNL, we don't even have 70 million euros to sign on, our first team priority target. We're gonna go and spend it on some random up and coming fullback, especially after the Vitor Roque deal. Again, a bit premeditated in my opinion, but keep your eyes on it. We'll wait and see how things turn out. I think the reason why I wanted to bring up this report mainly was for that first sentence. One of the requests of Hansi Flick is to reinforce the fullback position. I felt like that was important to let you guys know about that report. So we'll wait and see what happens with João Mendes. I wouldn't look too much into it, especially for this summer, maybe in the future for sure. But the fact that Hansi Flick wants to reinforce the fullback position could lead to other things coming up in the future. Now, as things currently stand, of course, the number one priority for Barcelona to reinforce the fullback position, both right side and left side, you could say, is Joao Cancelo. Gabriel Sanz and Mundo Deportivo has come out saying that Manchester City are asking for around 30 million euros for the permanent transfer of Joao Cancelo. However, they're also open to another loan, but with a buy obligation in 2025 for that same price, 30 million euros. Cancelo had to reduce his salary again to join Barcelona. At the moment, he only wants Barcelona. Jorge Mendes is currently working on it to reach an agreement. Alright, so we got a fee somewhat. We know what Man City want. We know that they're also open to a loan with a buy obligation as well, so you can delay that payment, which could be very much benefiting Barcelona. 30 million to me is a bit too much. My cap, like I mentioned with Kimmich, certain cap. My cap for Joao Cancelo is 25. I would want to spend around 20 for him. Maybe I'll chuck in some variables to reach that 25. My peak to be happy with it, keep Man City happy. 30 million is too much in my opinion, especially for the defensive frailties, especially after how poorly he ended off the last season. Investing 30 million in Cancelo when he only had, I would say, 2, maybe 3 years left at the top level is a massive gamble. When we do need, I think, a left winger more, we need a midfielder reinforcement more than we need Cancelo staying. That's how I currently see it. But the fact that the price isn't too bad, the fact that there's negotiation, the fact that Man City are open to a loan with a buy obligation is big, because that way you can delay the payment until next summer, and you can at least focus on using your current transfer budget, you could say, on reinforcing what the first team really needs in a left winger and a pivot. So that's going to be very, very big. Again, I think Man City are asking for a fair price from their perspective. If I'm Man City, I'd be asking for around 30-35 million as well. So I don't really blame them too much, again, for the quality of fullback that you do get, the level that he's currently at, his contract, player name, so to speak, as well. How he, overall the season, he was alright for Barcelona. Like I gave him the season review video, 7 out of 10 from August until February, he was absolutely brilliant, but then afterwards he kind of fell off a little bit. So the price they're asking for, I think, isn't too outrageous, but for me, just a bit too expensive. Really want to bring that down to around 20 million euros. So wait and see how things turn out. Again, still very early in negotiation. Again, Jorge Mendes is working on it. He is going to be that intermediate between Man City and Barcelona to try and find the best common middle ground. But again, remember that Man City are open to another loan with a buy obligation for Cancelo. But again, negotiations will continue. Now, the final transfer news that we do have is for a transfer target in 2025 in Florian Wirtz. We talked about this a few days ago on the channel, but we have more updates from Fabrizio Romano. He's come out saying that Deco is in love with Florian Wirtz and has known him since he was a child. He believes that he's a player for the future. Due to the current financial situation of Barcelona, is an impossible to sign him, of course, this summer, but in the future, you never know. I've kind of come to the realization now at this point that we're going to sign one of Florian Wirtz or Jamal Musiala. Of course, Musiala has, I think he's going into this summer with 2 years left on his deal. So next summer he'll have only 1 year left on his contract. I think he signed a deal with Bayern Munich until 2026. He said in the interview recently that there's no, good direction at Bayern Munich. If things aren't going too well, he'll have no problem in leaving and looking for an adventure and a new challenge elsewhere. We've seen, of course, both their performances against Scotland in the opening game of the Euros. Both fantastic players, both at Barcelona levels, and both had the qualities to play for this team. The only thing I want to really stress on Florian Wirtz, again, I think he's fantastic. I'll take him at Barcelona 100%, quality-wise, adaptation, player integration, style, everything checks the boxes. The only issue I do have is the price. He's going to be available next summer for around 100 million euros. Now, when you look at our current squad, when you have Fermin Lopez, Pedri, Gavi, De Jong, maybe Xavi Simon's coming in. Again, I don't know about that. You have Marc Bernal coming up from the Barca B. You have Unai Hernandez as well. Does it make sense to splash 100 million on another midfielder? When next summer, look at Lewandowski maybe leaving. You might see a sale at fullback in the wing. Maybe sell. Maybe Araujo does not continue. Has another crap season. May need another center back. The midfield is the only position at Barcelona where I would say, especially the attacking position, the attacking midfield. I think we're kind of weak in the 6, maybe in the 8, but in the interior and in the 10, I think we're totally fine. Is it going to be worth it splashing 100 million on Wirtz next season, next summer, when we probably need to use that money on another top position? That's my only concern with Wirtz. Can you put, like, people are talking about, Wirtz and Gavi and Pedri in the midfield would be magical, would be orgasmic. That's not balanced. That you'll never see that midfield 3 unless we go with a diamond. And we sacrifice a forward and go with a flat midfield. Then maybe you can see that. But under Hansi Flick's system, I think it'll be very, very unlikely. You can say, Wirtz can play on the left wing, he can play on the left. Then what's gonna happen if we sign Nico? What's gonna happen with him? What's gonna happen with Joao Felix? They're gonna be competing for an attacking position with the midfielder. That's just my thought process. Of course, too early. I mean, apparently Real Madrid are in for him as well, which I don't know how the hell they're in for him when they have about 20 million different midfielders. But we'll wait and see. The fact is that Deco has known Wirtz since he's been a child. Maybe he's been in contact with his parents and his, entourage since, his younger days. Since, of course, Deco was an agent, so he's starting to build up his profile. And he is in love with the player. He'll be available next summer. He's clearly a Barcelona fan. He's mentioned it so many times in the media. There's been so many, images leaked of him wearing Barca kits as well. So we'll park this for now. We'll see what happens where we're currently at, how the season progresses in the summer 2025. But keep an eye out for Wirtz at Barcelona, as Deco is a massive, massive fan of the player. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past few days. First up is the first team captain in Sergi Roberto. Again, no real update on his contract renewal in terms of the registration. Of course, there is a full agreement on a renewal, but in terms of registering him, where his priorities lie from Barcelona's perspective, some updates there. But Gabriel Sanz of Mundo Deportivo has come out saying that Girona, Sevilla, and Valencia are the La Liga clubs interested in signing Sergi Roberto. Mateo Merito then followed up, confirming it, saying the future for Sergi Roberto is far from Barcelona right now. In recent days, Girona, Valencia, Sevilla, and even Porto have asked about his situation, and it is difficult for Sergi Roberto to make a decision soon, and that is because, of course, he wants to wait. He wants to stay in Barcelona. If I'm Sergi Roberto, I am waiting from now until the start of preseason, until July the 10th. Because I guarantee you, man, again, he has such low wages. We're going to be back in 1-1, hopefully with La Liga. I feel like we can easily register him. I mean, the fact that we're struggling to register him now makes sense, but when we come back to one rule, that would scare the hell out of me. You want to sign Nico, Willams, Kimmich, other fullbacks, but he can't even register Roberto on his peanut salary. That for me would scare me. But I still have a hunch that he's going to stay in the end. If he does end up leaving, I mean, it is what it is. And that's, again, a huge loss for Barcelona from my perspective. I'd love to see him go to Porto. Don't even want to face him twice. Again, that revenge arc and stuff like that. I'm not really too keen on that. Not just for Roberto, but for any player. I hate when we sell players to La Liga. Of course, they're the only option. They're the only options that, it's whatever. But I prefer not to, because, again, I've seen so many players come back face Barcelona and, cost us points and stuff like that, which rather be safe than sorry, and I just rather sell outside La Liga. But again, we'll wait and see how things do turn out. But again, Roberto close to the exit door as things currently stand. However, he still wants to wait a little bit until making a final decision. Now, a Barcelona duo that is attracting interest from the Premier League, more specifically from Newcastle, are Andres Christensen and Ferran Torres. Gabriel Sanz of Mundo Deportivo has come out saying that Newcastle is interested in Andres Christensen alongside, of course, Ferran Torres. Again, a bid has come in for Ferran Torres, which again, there's been no reports about it being confirmed, accepted, or rejected. I think if it was accepted, we would have known by now, but keep your eyes on these two players. Keep your eyes on how they perform in the Euros. Of course, Christensen in the first game, Denmark drew 1-1 with Slovakia. I believe Christensen had a hell of a game. I think he completed 89 out of 89 passes, and he's a player that you can afford to let go for a good price that will benefit you on FFP like no tomorrow. Again, he came in for free, so whatever sale we make for him is pure net gain, pure profit in the financial fair play margin. So that's going to be absolutely massive, of course, if we do decide to end up selling him. I think both players are, good enough to stay. I would be more towards selling Ferran Torres if a good offer comes in, just due to their overbooking in the front line. But Christensen, with his versatility in the midfield and in defense, where we do have an overbooking at center back, but we have a bit of an underbooking in the pivot position, you could say, in the midfield. That's why I would want to keep Christensen ahead of Ferran Torres. Also, he's performed well in Barcelona for 2 years, where Ferran Torres has been very, very inconsistent in his 3 years at Barcelona. And of course, for the investment that we made in Ferran Torres, if we can get some of that money back, just take your losses. Again, I would look for around 30 million for Ferran Torres. We've sent, I think, 55 on him. So you make about a 25 million euro loss for 3 years, though. I'll take it. It's not too bad. So wait and see how things turn out. We do have an update on Ferran Torres later on in the video, but just letting you guys know that Newcastle are interested and are keen on Christensen, and of course Ferran. We'll wait and see if any offers come in. Of course, apart from that bid of 15 million euros for Ferran, which I probably assume will be rejected by Barcelona. Now, the biggest news at Barcelona over the past few days has, without a shadow of a doubt, have been these reports between Barcelona and Porto linking a few players to head to the Portuguese side. Now, the news broke initially from Joaquin Pereira from Sport. Again, so I'm telling you guys, he's a top source. Doesn't talk too much. When he does talk, you listen. Again, has that Brazilian connection with Vitor Roque. He's come out saying that Barcelona right now are in negotiation with Porto ahead of a loan for Vitor Roque and the sale of Mikayil with a buyback option. Barcelona will be open to hearing offers for him for a minimum of 15 million euros. So he's saying that Barcelona are negotiating right now for Vitor Roque loan and a Mikayil sale. Of course, the Roque loan is just, an idea, just a thought. It's just, in the air, nothing really concrete or guaranteed. But let's now talk about both of them. Firstly, on Mikayil, Fabrizio Romano confirmed it, saying that Porto is ready to offer 15 million euros for Barca Athletic center back Mikayil. Barcelona said to demand a buyback clause in the deal to maintain control of the player's future. A meeting will take place at some point this week. Getting a bid for a Barca Athletic that is in the third division right now, of course they could get promoted next week, let's hope they do, for 15 million euros is outrageous. Look at our sales in the first team over the past 5 years. Apart from Dembele's release clause that was activated by PSG, we sell like shite. I cannot even think of the last player that we sold for like more than 10 million euros. Maybe Kessie was 12, but that was again way below his market value. I cannot think of a player that we sold for around this price since Dembele's release clause, unless I'm being an absolute idiot. Because I can think about our sales over the past few years. You of course had Dembele. I think Coutinho to Aston Villa was like 20, but that's again because we invested so much into him. That's not really why that was the price. Kessié for 12. Of course, Malcolm to Zenit was a lot for 50. Like it's brutal at this point. So getting that price for Mikayil is wild. Now, Roger Sedero of Mundo Deportivo confirmed the reports as well, saying that Porto had begun talks with both Barcelona and Mikayil's entourage, but at the moment they are not contemplating the idea of giving Barcelona a buyback option for Mikayil. I will say this, I am not selling Mikayil without a buyback option or a percent of a future sale. I need something in his future because he is a top talent, but again, I think right now Barcelona, it's a bit difficult to get into the first team. Now, what happened to the plan of him doing preseason and then what? This is what I mean, man. When offers come in that tempt Barcelona, they tend to just cash out and move on. I think they will do. I think this operation will happen. I think the only doubt is the buyback option. I don't know what price it was set for Barcelona. I think I would probably set it around double, so 30 million. So you get the 15 million now. You basically get the 15 million back to get Mikayil. That's how I, see it. Well, you get the 15 million plus the 15 million on top of that as well. But I would just want the buyback option to be less than double I would say. But I think this is a good operation for all parties. For Barcelona, you get some much needed funds in. You sell a Barca Athletic player for 15 million euros, which is absolutely wild. You get triple year investment from Faye last summer. He of course won't maybe develop at Barcelona. He does well. You have that part where you can bring him back in. Let's say, for example, Araujo and Koundé leave. You can bring back Faye for, you know, a good price. He knows this. He of course lived in Barcelona for years. He has some sort of experience. So I think it's a good operation for all parties. But wait and see if there's an agreement that can be reached. All I would just emphasize is that Barcelona, in order to complete this deal, have to retain part of his future. If they don't, I will be very, very, very disappointed. But let's now switch gears onto the Vitor Roque perspective. Now, Joaquin Pereira, again, top sources around Vitor Roque and just Brazilian players in Barcelona. He's come out saying that Hansi Flick and Deco maintain the plan that Vitor Roque will stay and continue to grow under the guidance of Robert Lewandowski. However, Vitor Roque's future depends on FFP, with the key issue being his registration. Barcelona are working to make room in the salary cap for Vitor Roque. There is a certain degree of optimism, but Barcelona are considering all scenarios. Given the situation, Porto has shown interest in a transfer, with Barcelona receiving a future buyback option. However, in talks between Deco and Porto's president, only a loan has been discussed. Deco believes that Porto is the perfect place for a young player to keep developing, and Vitor Roque would find the Portuguese league an ideal environment for his progress. So again, despite the interest from Porto, the club's plan is to keep Vitor Roque. They wanted to be in the first team in preseason, learn from Lewandowski, back up and cover for him next season. However, if they cannot register him, they do like the idea of sending him out on loan to Porto. Good league, speak the Portuguese language, of course. That's what Vitor Roque speaks fluently. Good country, good league as well. He'll get some minutes, so it's a happy days all around. Of course, we're a well-run institution. Well, I hope we're a well-run institution, so we have some backup plans ready to go. Maybe negotiate a deal, reach an agreement, pending how Vitor Roque does in preseason, how we can, pre-plan his registration. All the things will be into play, of course. So Vitor Roque is not imminent to Porto, like maybe you could say Faye is, but the idea is there in the event he does not continue. But again, the priority is for him to continue. Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona's priority is for Vitor Roque to complete preseason under the orders of Hansi Flick. The German coach has already communicated that he counts on the Brazilian. So again, hopefully he'll be there for preseason unless a big offer comes in. I don't know, a big offer transfer-wise or loan-wise will maybe make a difference. But again, the plan is quite clear. Does preseason, maybe after preseason they'll assess if we can register him, great, keep him. If we can't register him, then we might see a loan for Vitor Roque. So that's the situation. Vitor Roque is not really too imminent like it is with Faye, but we'll wait and see how things do turn out. But again, this report is absolutely massive. You can get two exits here, one being a good sale for Barcelona, especially for the money invested and for his stature at the club. Then I think Porto, to be honest, I agree with the report. Porto is a good move for Vitor Roque. Go to a team that lacks a striker. I think Taremi, their striker, is now going to Inter for free, so they're going to be missing someone in that position. Speaks the language, good talent, good league as well. Happy days all around. So wait and see how everything turns out in this situation. I would probably say Vitor Roque leaving right now at around 20-30%, maybe because of FFP. But Faye, I think there's a 70% chance this happens. I think if Porto give Barcelona a buyback option, that's probably less than double. I think Barcelona will accept the operation, even though they kind of want to see Faye in preseason. But we'll see how things turn out, as Barcelona and Porto are set to continue negotiations this week, following a meeting at some point this week. Now, on the topic of Barca Athletic exits, we do have some more updates around that avenue in regards to Pau Victor and Angel Alarcon. This is coming in from Mundo Deportivo. He's come out saying that Pau Victor and Angel Alarcon took pictures with their families on the pitch after Barca Athletics match last night, or 2 nights ago, giving hints that they may have their last home game and they may leave. Pau Victor's, of course, a 3 million buy option expired in April, and Barcelona needs to reach in a new agreement with Girona to keep him. So with Angel Alarcon, of course, he did get injured. He has come back. He's been alright, but again, with Marguiu, you're going to have, of course, your main name striker. Pau Victor had an unbelievable season. The club do want to keep him, but with that buy option being expired, it doesn't really give Barcelona too much leverage unless we do some sort of negotiation with Girona for maybe Romeu, Eric Garcia, Pablo Torre. I doubt he'll be, returning to Barcelona. And if he is part of those negotiations, hopefully he doesn't have, too much big of a factor. I think the club's plan with Pau Victor is to sell him on for more money. So either they try and finesse Girona and then sell him on for more money, or he'll go to Girona and Girona will sell him on for more money. That's the reality of it. We're going to try and flip Pau Victor. I think he has no future at Barcelona, in the first team anyway. Maybe they want to keep him at Barcelona Athletic for another season. I mean, that's whatever, but keep your eyes on their two futures, as there is going to be some developments hopefully in the next few weeks, as they were kind of seen saying goodbye to the Estadio Johan Cruyff. Let's now discuss some of the players that have been rumored to be staying at Barcelona over the past few days. First, we do have an update on the third captain of the first team in Ronald Araujo. First, Mundo Deportivo came out confirming some news about January, saying that there were 2 bids rejected from Bayern Munich, one for 70 plus 20 and one for an 8 plus 10 from Bayern Munich for Araujo, and both were actually immediately rejected by Barcelona. Very, very interesting. Now, following this, Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Ronald Araujo is considered to be a key player for Barcelona, and only an extraordinary bid can change his current situation. Now, that hopefully is going to be pointing more towards the positive side about a renewal, because I think the club will let him go for 70 plus 20 or 8 plus 10 if he does not want to renew his contract. Again, an agreement needs to be reached. There's supposed to be a meeting last week. We talked about that at the beginning of last week, that meeting between Araujo and Barcelona this week to hopefully figure out his future. Nothing's happened. Well, maybe nothing has leaked. Maybe the meeting did happen. I don't know. From my source, he still tells me the same thing that he told me back in February, that right now it's about a 50-50. There still needs to be an agreement that has to be reached, but both sides are kind of cooperating on the event of a renewal. So we'll wait to see what happens with Araujo, but again, the club are not afraid to reject big bids for players that they want to keep. This is quite clear from those 2 January bids from Bayern for Araujo. Again, with Thomas Tuchel leaving, I don't think the Bayern Munich report is going to be much stronger anymore. Also, Tuchel, he's going to be jobless this summer. He's taking a sabbatical, so he will not be going to a club that's going to be showing really strong interest in Araujo. We thought if Tuchel went to United, you'd see a lot of reports about United wanting Araujo because of that Tuchel connection. But with that being said, now probably in terms of reports and rumors, it will die down for Araujo. It's just not going to be all talks about him renewing his contract with Barcelona. Now, 2 players who have made it quite clear that they want to continue at Barcelona for the future season is, of course, Ferran Torres and Joao Felix. The Ferran Torres news is more important because this is coming in, of course, off the back of the Newcastle bid that came in, and Barca have come out saying that Ferran Torres is currently only thinking about continuing at Barcelona. He has no plans of leaving, and he wants to try and succeed at the club in the coming season. The management value not only his quality, but also his behavior in the locker room. I've seen reports that Ferran Torres is within a shout to become a captain if, of course, Sergi Roberto ends up leaving, because they're saying he'll become the first team captain, Araujo second, Frankie third, so those ones will all move up. That 4th spot apparently is between Lewandowski, Pedri, and bloody Ferran Torres. I saw that, I'm like, what the fuck? Are you freaking serious? Ferran Torres, the club cap. Madre mia. Listen, he's a versatile player. He had a good season, just take away the 3 months that he was out injured for. But 30 million bid comes in. I am taking it and running. Absolutely running. But if he stays, it's again, whatever to me. But we're going to have a bit of an overbooking in the attack. You're going to have Lamine Yamal, Raphinha, Roque, Lewandowski, Joao Felix, new left wing coming in. You're going to have, 7 forwards for only 6. So I think Ferran Torres staying, if Vitor Roque has to go out on loan, that is a very, very smart operation by Barcelona. Again, you get to keep someone that has that versatility. Lewandowski is probably going to play, 8 out of 10 games anyways. So that I wouldn't mind. But him staying alongside Vitor Roque and a new left wing signing, I'm not so keen on that. Now, also, Porto Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Hansi Flick and Deco value the versatility of Ferran Torres and even Joao Felix. The players are seen as options to play as strikers and attacking midfielder respectively. Ferran Torres' hard-working and joyful nature in the dressing room is also very appreciated. Lads, Deco and Hansi Flick, you can pay me €5 a week. I'll be the happiest person in the dressing room. I'll work my bombacla off. I will do anything for £5 a week, and you don't have no registration problems with me. Believe me. I'll even take a salary cut from my £5 a week. All this stuff about working hard and being joyful, that comes with, I expect that as a bare minimum. The fact that we're highlighting that as a skill, as something you want to keep, doesn't sit well with me, in my humble opinion. But you want to keep Ferran Torres based on his ability and all this other stuff. Again, I still think it's on the cards, but we'll wait and see if Newcastle or any other, Spanish side, maybe even Saudi, come in with a decent bid for Ferran Torres. I think Joao Felix, again, it comes down to negotiations with Atletico Madrid. We can keep him cool. If not, hopefully don't, do an extra push and, commit actual money for Joao Felix. But these 2 players have made it quite clear that they do intend to continue at Barcelona next season. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past few days. First, I want to go through some of these quotes that have come out from Raphinha about his mentality being shite, essentially. So he came out speaking to Mundo Deportivo, again, doing some talks and stuff before the Copa America this Thursday. Came out saying that I had recently thought about leaving everything in in football because of personal and professional issues. I thought about giving up, leaving the sport because I did not want to go through the mental problems or difficulties and hear insults by the media or fans. But now I have a greater focus. But now I have a greater force, which is my son. Imagine that one day my son can see me as an inspiration in football, not being the best in the world, but a reference. That for me is worth a lot. This not only pissed me off a little bit, but is worrying the hell out of me. And from my perspective, as a Barcelona fan, that just knocked a couple of million euros off Raphinha's price tag, in my opinion. What the F is this mentality? Oh my god. People talk about this all the time. Oh, I want to play for Barcelona as my dream club. As soon as you get here, you get a little bit of criticism, then you cry like a bitch. Bloody hell, man. Listen, has criticism gone far? Sure. Has criticism been unjust? Sure. But criticism is part of the game. Being, attacked and judged is part of the job. You're playing. Look at this freaking badge. You're playing for Football Club Barcelona. You're gonna come here and act like everything's gonna go rosy. I seen you miss open nets, clear-cut chances in the final third. You think I'm gonna sit here and accept that? Bloody hell, man. You're gonna retire from football. If you see you want to leave because of this, that would mean I'd be like, whatever. You're just, your mentality is crap, whatever. Retire from football. I would sell Raphinha this summer for 65 million, maybe even 60. I mean, if that's his mentality that he almost quit because of a few criticism, because of some of it, I say like 80% of it, 90% of it was rightfully so. Fucking hell, man. Yes, I understand. He had a great season, double digits in both goals and assists. I praise him. I think he's a good player. I would keep him. But remember that first 2-3 months, he was wank, absolute wank, and he's out here getting red cards as well. And he got subbed off, and he starts, bitching and moaning on the bench, and he wants to sit here and just say nothing. Oh, Raphinha, please go ahead, Coco Bonito. Oh my God. If you're putting up Neymar numbers, then sure, I'll keep my mouth shut. But you're not. I don't know. Am I always exaggerating? I don't know, but this is just how I feel. But Raphinha wants to retire from football. Absolutely wild. Now, in other news, Hansi Flick has a big plan to invest in the academy in La Masia. We're going to discuss all the reports, and I'll give you guys my opinion and my analysis. There is quite a few to get through, so let's get right into it. Alex Pentel from Relevo came out saying that Hansi Flick will aim to continue betting on La Masia players. Most likely, many of these players will participate in preseason for the first team. Sport came out saying that the Barca athletic squad liked very much and felt very good that Hansi Flick in his first days at Barcelona visited their training sessions. He was even being able to greet many of the players, and have many of them will have to do preseason with the first team. Many Barca athletic players were worried when Xavi left because having a coach who trusts the B team players is synonymous with having more opportunities. Of course, Barcelona lacked that a lot under Setien, under Koeman. Oh, not Koeman. A little bit under Koeman, under Valverde, a lot. A little bit under Luis Henrique as well, because again, we didn't have football then. There was not too many games, so you usually just play your starters in every single game. You rotate maybe like once or twice a season. But yeah, I understand the point for the Barca athletic players completely. Now, also, Bild in Germany have come out saying that Hansi Flick wants to include Noah Darvik in his first team preseason squad. Flick is said to be a huge fan of Darvik and knows him from his Germany youth national team. Whether Darvik will remain for the first team will be decided after preseason. Bloody hell, we're giving promotions out left, right, and center. Firstly, Casado, and now we're going to give one to Darvik. I mean, again, you already have about 8,000 interiors. You have Pedri, you have Gavi, you have Ferran, you have De Jong, you have Gundogan. So where in the bloody F is Darvik getting minutes? I have no idea. The guy does not even play for Barca Athletic yet. Calma, like bloody hell. Now, quickly on this, I fully believe, based on my experience, my know-how, my knowledge as a Barca fan for the past 15 years, this for me is nothing short of pure PR. This is just to, get the hype going, get everyone happy about Hansi Flick. People tell me, oh, he's been studying La Masia since February, blah, blah, blah. Of course he's going to do that. You're coming in as a first team manager. You have to be aware of, the other teams underneath you. All this stuff about, oh, he's going to invest heavy in youth. This is exactly what Laporta wants. He wants to come in, bring a manager with experience, and highlight the fact that he will trust the academy, because that's what gets fans excited. I would love to see our Barcelona competing on all four fronts, winning Champions Leagues with a full 11 from La Masia. That for me would complete my life. That's always been the goal. So when you promote La Masia, we have an XI where you have 4 or 5 graduates, 4 or 5 players that came from your home. It just gives you more enthusiasm, gives you more of a boost. That's what they're trying to promote here. Yes, Hansi Flick will probably, give minutes to a few players here and there. But just don't kid yourself. If the team is fully fit, you will not see a B team player to save your life. I'll tell you that right now. But I just think this is all a bunch of PR. Again, our preseason squad, half of it's going to be B team players because the first team players are still going to be recovering from the Euros and Copa America this summer, and even the Olympics, which is going to be happening during the middle of preseason. So don't get too much on the hype. This is, what's something that I would, be excited about? It would be this, coming in from Tony Juan Marti. He came out saying that Hansi Flick, as Barcelona's new head coach, prioritizes rhythm and intensity in play rather than bodybuilding. He values physical power combined with ball skills, prefers a dynamic double pivot over a classic defensive one, with aims to boost the team's energy and intensity. Collaboration with the fitness expert Julio Toulouse is already underway. This is what I want to see. Barcelona improving all around, build up play, style, fitness wise, intensity, having team energy. This is what I want to see, because this is what we lacked a little bit under Xavi. Although Xavi was the one that kind of kickstarted that for Barcelona, because under Koeman, Setien, Valverde, we did not see any of that. So he kind of brought that in, kickstarted it, and now hopefully Hansi Flick will take it to the next level and continue it. This is what I want to see, not La Masia PR. So we'll wait and see how things do turn out in this regard, whether Hansi Flick will invest in La Masia or not. But just keep in mind, bookmark it if he doesn't, because they've been nothing but glazing him since he's been appointed. Just La Masia, this La Masia, that. He studied La Masia. The Barcelona board were shocked about his knowledge of La Masia when they were interviewing him. It's all PR. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is, of course, to give you guys a FFP, financial fair play update on Barcelona, where we currently stand on reaching the 1-1 rule. Firstly, from Roberto Mundo Deportivo, he's come out saying that Barcelona need the 40 million euros outstanding of Barca Vision, which Liverpool was supposed to pay before June the 30th. They are obliged to formalize the deal before the end of this month to avoid any penalties. A technological company from Dubai was negotiating until a few weeks ago, and a company from USA was also bidding, but now everything indicates that it will be a European company. Club sources say that the agreement is well on track. As far as the deal with Nike is concerned, it is closed, but there is no urgency to seal it before June the 30th. It is a completely separate deal, and Barcelona have already reported Liverpool to the courts for breach of contract. So what the club are trying to do, the money that Liverpool owed them, they're going to take them to court for that. Hopefully we can get more from it, but that 40 million now, they're trying to find another company to cover that and invest with them, and then bin Liverpool completely. Now, with the Nike deal not being part of it, I don't know about that. I think it's, of course, going to be very, very big for Barcelona to, of course, get the Nike deal over the line. We've been hearing a lot of reports over the past few days about delays in the kit, delays in the announcement. One day is June the 20th, next day is 26th, next day is July. We do have some updates on this as well. Firstly, coming in from Alex Mentel from Merlivo, he's come out saying that Barcelona has not yet officially presented the home kit for the upcoming season, and the reason behind that is that Nike manufactured the kits with the old Spotify typograph. However, they have changed it now to the right font, and the reveal is expected to be happening in July. Of course, I told you guys that 2 or 3 days ago, that the reveal now for the new home kit is said to happen at the beginning of July, and now it's confirmed by the main media. Again, Nike just effing up. I mean, they're out here trying to tell us, oh, we want to give us 80 million per season, while you're out here making these dumb mistakes. Now, if you haven't noticed, the Spotify logo on the right hand side, and what you currently see actually on the screen in general, is now incorrect. They kind of changed their logo now, where the F and the Y and the T, the end of the letter is kind of like more of a line now than it is how it looks now. Anyways, when you see it, it's more clear, but they have changed their font, and when they produced the home kit, they used the wrong freaking font. I mean, it is what it is. But there is some positive to this, and that is because that we have seen now across the globe Barca kits being put on sale at Nike collaborative stores, and even some Nike stores outside of Europe. This always happens. I remember 2 years ago, my local kit store got the new kits like a month before they were even revealed. I remember I bought it, I put it on Twitter, kind of blew up then, but not trying to flex. But anyways, this is very, very common. We're seeing kits now in Montreal, Canada. There's been some reports of kits being sold in Brazil. I would just say this: do not buy this kit because it's gonna have the wrong Spotify font. Also, there's no emblem, the 125th anniversary emblem. I don't know if the club are gonna sell the kits with the emblem or not, so I'd hold back on the kits that you do see right now for sale. If you want to go buy a fake one from, LU Soccer, link down below, for like 30 bucks, sure, that's a vibe, but I wouldn't spend, the full price on these kits. Also, of course, remember they came out saying that it's typical for these kits to be available outside of Europe beforehand, but again, this basically confirms that the kit is 100% confirmed and that we will be continuing essentially with Nike. So that's at least somewhat of a positive side, that hopefully this deal will be getting over the line, and hopefully this deal will, of course, have big implications, but positively for financial fair play. Now, finally, in regards to all this fair play stuff, something that's come out that's been very, very interesting is that Barcelona are looking for a new CEO now. Barcelona Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona now are contemplating appointing a new general director or CEO again. It would be for next season, so there is no hurry right now. The club will handle several profiles. It is not ruled out that the club will promote someone else that's already there as well. Since Ferran Torres left in 2022, João Laporta and Ferran Oliver have looked over the functions and duties. Promoting financial director Ronald Araujo is also an option as well. So to reduce the workload on, good old João Laporta a little bit, they're now looking for a new CEO. Remember when Ferran Wirtz first left, they had some options, but then in the end they decided not to promote anyone. They decided to split the role between 2 and 3 different people. But now they kind of reversed it 2 years later, saying, you know what, we should probably bring someone in. Now, having some reports as well that João Laporta is considering running for presidency again in 2026. I'll tell you this right now for free, he's gonna run. There's no way in hell he's not gonna run. You're telling me he's worked his ass off for, Espai of Barca and all this stuff. He's not gonna be there when it opens. He's not gonna be the president when it opens. Be real. He's gonna run. That's, a guarantee in my books. But he's now in the market for a new CEO. I will definitely submit my application, and if I do get in, make sure you drop a like down below, drop your comments, whatever. For top comment, I'll do it right. Barcelona. Top comment is sign back Martin Braithwaite. I'll do it. But yeah, we're in for a new CEO. We'll wait to see how that turns out. We'll wait to see how things turn out as well. Entirely for FFP return to 1-1 rule. Again, right now, I think everything's on track. The club are very confident that they will return to the 1-1 rule by the end of this month, of course. That, of course, benefit Barcelona in the upcoming summer transfer market. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past few days. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing, firstly, of course, your thoughts on the 2 top signings for priorities for Barcelona, being Kimmich and Nico Willams. Second, your thoughts on negotiations with Man City for Joao Cancelo. Think you'll be getting over the line. How much would you spend on Cancelo? Third, your thoughts on Porto being in Vitor Roque and Mikayil. How much would you sell Mikayil for? Would you sell Mikayil? Also, same question for Vitor Roque. Find your thoughts on Newcastle showing that strong interest in Christensen and Ferran Torres. Would you sell the 2? One of them, neither of them, both of them, and also, of course, for what price? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.